Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shem Shai, Shem Kakodash, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, either he sold out or the Lord is not dealing with him at all. So y'all should know what I'm going to get into. And Revelation chapter 13, the Revelation chapter 13, the correct breakdown. So I will go through Revelation chapter 13. I did it before, so I'm going to do it this time. And I'm watching this video put up by a soldier of Yahweh Shai. You do a hell of a damn Donald J. Trump. You sound just like him. I said, damn. Anyway, so I'm watching this video. Soldier Yahweh Shai, Bishop Nathaniel. You know you done effed up, right? He did. He put his foot in. He said he changed again. Yet again, we've been saying it for years. He changes up every so many years or whatever. He completely changes the breakdowns. Go back 5 years ago, he didn't teach about an eternal hell, the lake of fire being in a hell. All you got to do is put the IUIC. You can put hell. And there was a interview he did, a radio show. I guess he was in New York, and he was invited to a radio show in Nigeria. And he was going into the book of Revelation. He was going into various topics. And this was 5 years ago. The video's still up. Catch it before they take it down. That he said that there's no... People think that hell is in the middle of earth. No, it's not. And I believe he said the lake of fire is when missiles hit America. Now he's saying that the lake of fire is an eternal hell. Or maybe he's saying... It's 2 in 1. It's a lake of fire, which is America. So I guess America will turn into hell. So when you go to hell, it sounds confusing. Hey, the Most High said, I'm not the author of confusion, excuse me. So the young prophet here out of Dallas, GMS, he does a video. He mentions the video that I did. The elder out of Las Vegas, Karat Zah. He did was that Vegas sit down, GMS Vegas sit down 144K. He did a video mentioning the video that I did and built upon it. Add there too, as the Apocrypha says. So he mentioned that one of the brothers, he didn't give the name, out of did he say Kentucky? Well, he made a statement in a video dealing with the same subject, and he said, which made sense, all the sense in the world. He was saying that if Nate is saying that Revelation 13:11 on down, he doesn't say, well, that's talking about Nero, but he says during Nero's time, he had a coin where you had to, it's almost like you had to worship Nero, and you had to, by the way, Nero is president now. A lot of them camps don't understand this. Y'all better open up your spiritual eyes. This is why this guy, Trump, is backing off. This guy got 34 felonies. You ever get a felony? I got a felony, and I was scared to death. And it was dropped down to a misdemeanor, and then it was thrown out. Because if you get I know in New York, if you get a felony, you get an 18B lawyer, which is a good lawyer, and they like to win. You get a good lawyer. Misdemeanor, you get a bullshit lawyer. But if it's a felony, you get what's called an 18B lawyer. Somebody fact check me. Hey, these lawyers look like they movie lawyer. They popped out of a TV show. You know? And they would look forward because it was a Hebrew Israelite thing. So the top lawyers said, y'all know about the Hebrew Israelites, about them, and they hate the white man. But guess what? They have a right to say what the hell they want to say. As long as they don't break the law, they have a First Amendment. I said, God damn. And the case the prosecutor said, no, we ain't even going to, follow this case. We had another situation where we were surrounded by the whole police force, and they didn't arrest us. They ticketed us, took our sound device. When we went to court, the prosecuting attorney, he pulled me to the side. He said, we ain't got no case. We saw the video. You guys have a First Amendment right. And plus, well, we said that there was what do you call that? A standing placard or whatever, and it said First Amendment. It said First Amendment freedom of speech. So how the hell are you gonna, give us tickets? Damn near. I think they arrested one brother because he didn't have his ID on him. But we got him out. But they're getting us on, First Amendment. Getting us on talking stuff that they don't want us to talk. But we got a First Amendment right, as long as we're not in the theater yelling fire. So the prosecutor said, yeah, y'all, we don't got nothing on y'all. I'm just going to go to the judge, tell him to throw it out. And the judge was fucking pissed off. This was another situation. All right, so we've been in this man's courts, like the Apostle Paul, mainly the Apostle Paul. He went before Agrippa, Felix. He wanted to go before Nero, by the Caesar of that time, which was Nero. Trump is Nero. Trump is Nero. Let me say it again. Trump is Nero. This is Nero coming back. How can you get 34 felonies and still be president? He raped. There was a woman that allegedly raped him. The one woman, she said she got raped in Macy's or whatever, and they said that, yep, they found out that he was guilty and he had to pay a lot of money. Now he couldn't get locked up because there's a statute of limitation for rape in New York, at least in New York City. I guess the whole country. But they said that, he was guilty. Now, if he did it within the statute of limitation, he'd be in jail. And there's a couple of things where he was supposed to go to jail on. He almost got assassinated really 3 times. The time we got hit in the air. We don't know if that was a stage. We don't know. But anytime there's an attempted assassination, when you go back to the presidents before, they always got him, except for Reagan. But I believe that was planned that way anyway, to get him in line. But all the other assassinations, they were all successful. So Reagan was not successful, his assassination attempt, and Trump with 3 matter of fact, when he was running in 2015, 2016, there was a guy that came up on the stage and ran after him. And he had that nervous look on him, if y'all remember. So obviously that was some guy either trying to get an autograph or trying to kill him. And so with all that, 34 felonies, got found guilty of rape, but there was a statute of limitation. Other women said he raped her and raped that woman or raped this woman or whatever. He was never mayor, so he has never mayor, never governor, never Senate, never congressperson. He's a reality show guy. He was on Fresh Prince. He's on a couple other sitcoms and guests on sitcoms. But I remember, if you go to Donald Trump on the Fresh Prince, you should come find it on YouTube. And what was he? His title when he ran for president was what? Reality TV personality. He had The Apprentice. And that's acting. That shit ain't real. That shit is acting, man. That shit is scripted. So with all this, he's the most qualified man to be president. The guy was never a dog catcher. The dude was never a street sweeper. He was never a cop. They have cops that move up in rank and become like chief captain or lieutenant or chief of police or even commissioner. And normally you have chief of police, commissioners that become mayors. Look at Adam, what's this guy? Eric Adams. and he's going to get all his people around him. The feds got information on them. They all said they all gave up their position, their employment. So they got information on him. But then the talk is, behind the scenes, Trump said, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna, what do you call it? Give you clemency, pardon you. I'm gonna pardon you." Which is the right of a king. That proves to you that a president, the president ain't no king. A president is a king. You don't have a divine right to say, "Oh, this guy that murdered, Mama let him." No, presidents do that. At the end of their term, that's the right of a god. And guess what? Donald Trump loves to be a president. I don't even think he's about the money. He loves being the president because he was the president back in the Roman Empire. So if Trump makes a coin and says, "Okay, you got to use this coin and you got to kiss the coin before you use it," okay, then Nate is correct. No, Nate is not correct. Nate is looking real weak. Nate is looking real weak. Nate looks desperate. Nate is reaching. And why is he always doing videos on the MOTB? Because I believe that there's people in his congregation that are, window shopping. He calls them window shoppers. And none of these guys that are of rank, the leadership, ain't none of them say, whatever this dude says, they just go with it, man. Like I said, 4 or 5 years ago, he said there ain't no such thing as hell. People think that hell is a fire in the middle of the earth. He says there's no hell. He said the lake of fire is a Babylon being destroyed. He went on this was a year and a half, 2 years maybe. He went on not even, maybe a year and a half. He went on a show in Africa with she could be a Jake woman. She had a podcast, and he was on there. And he said the lake of fire was missiles hitting Babylon the Great. But he was also saying that there's a spiritual hell that even Israelites will burn in hell forever. So this guy, what else did he change? Oh, the new moon. We remember when he changed when he said it was November somewhere, either first week of November, second week of November. He had did a class on the new moon being the full moon. Now, October that same year, or prior to that, a year before, 2 years before that, the new moon is a dark moon. So all of a sudden, the new moon is a full moon. And then there was a few people that wasn't with that and they left. But the majority of the people, mainly the leadership, the guys up at top that sit, side by side with him or right below him, they have no problem with it. And that's not a good thing, man. The scriptures, what is that? Matthew 18, if not Matthew 16. I believe it's Matthew. It's got to be Matthew 16. Matter of fact, let me go to it. It's also in Galatians 6, if I'm not mistaken. Matter of fact, let me go to that. Galatians 6, if I'm not mistaken. Galatians 6. If it's not 6, it's 5. Right. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in the fault, ye which are spiritual, if he's breaking the scripture down the wrong way, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, let's look at the word fault. Because the leadership of the IUIC, he can say any goddamn thing, and they won't. And there's a record. I mean, just the fact that you changed something, and you had it for so many. So none of these guys had a dream about this. He just gets the vision, and that's it. This truth is not given to one man. And it says, considering thyself, lest ye be tempted, meaning you consider whether you, like the Cornelius thing. We went on the fast considering whether we went off, lest we be tempted, right? That's fault. So let's look up the word fault. When any group says wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Fault.
Strong's G 3900 Paraptoma.
To fall beside or near something. A lapse of deviation from truth and uprightness. A sin misled. Now you can be sincere and be sincerely right or sincerely wrong. You can break down something and not realize that you broke it down wrong, but you're sincere in your heart. To fall beside or near something, a lapse of or deviation from truth and uprightness, a sin, misdeed. To err, that's why the Lord said, ye err not knowing the scriptures. So guess what? Bishop Nate errs not knowing the scriptures, or he took a bag. I mean, it's obvious. And the fault is on him, and the fault is on his men that don't stand up to him. That none of them would stand up to him. Let me see. The other one I wanted was Matthew, either Matthew 18 or Matthew 16. Let me try Matthew 18. Okay, I was right. Discipline in prayer. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained a brother. But if he don't, you get 2 or 3 witnesses, and then you bring him before the church, then you cast him out as a what? A heathen or a publican. Publican was hated. And when you teach something false, you trespassing against your neighbor because you're telling them a lie. That's all I wanted. Bear with me for a minute. Now, what I'm going to do here is, and please watch this video. If not to learn anything, to hear that the brother do Donald J. Trump. You're going to say, well, that was really, he had Donald J. Trump in the room with him tied up. He made him say that. Anyway, let's do this. Revelation 13. I'm going to go through this because I'm supposed to be somewhere. Revelation 13. I must breeze through this. I did this before. The beast from the sea. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. We know that's talking about the Roman Empire. So John was living during the time of the Roman Empire. During the time from, to give you a time, to give you a marker from Julius Caesar up until Domitian Caesar. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, the Greeks, and the feet of a bear, the Russians, because the feet of something is the end of something. So the Russians are going to bring this place to an end through the missiles. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion, that represents Great Britain. And the dragon gave him his power and seat and great authority. Now, some people say the dragon represents Satan himself. The dragon is interchangeable with the beast. And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death. Which one of their heads was wounded to death? The main head, which is the Roman Empire. And that really started when Jake came in there in 96 AD. It says, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. What does it mean his deadly wound was healed? When this power source came back into power. The head that was wounded was Rome, which is the capital of the empire. It came back into power not through Rome, but through Spain. The power came from Spain. That was the head nation at that time. And you go into Christopher Columbus, you go into those characters, contemporaries to Christopher Columbus, how he came to the Americas. That's when it began to heal, when it came to the other side of the world. You bring it up to the Puritans, the so-called Puritans coming over. The Christians and so forth, that they were against England, and then England became a part of what? The new beast, which is headed by Spain, which the power eventually went to America. Really, the power is coming out of London, but the great patsy is America, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him. Now, this is after the deadly wound was healed. So this is talking about this time, starting from Christopher Columbus up until this time. The feet of it as a bear represents they're going to be taken down. In the martial arts, you want to take somebody down quickly, you sweep him. His leg moves a certain way, and you sweep him, and his whole body goes down. That's his foundation. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, Daniel chapter 7. Somebody could put that in the chat. And blasphemies. Blasphemy is to disrespect the Most High. And power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. And then we're coming to the end of the 40 and 2 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High. They got the Most High as a so-called white man. They got the angels as white. They got Jesus, so-called Jesus as white. They don't call him Yahweh. They don't call the son Yahweh Shai. They call him Jesus. And they call him God. They have the Sistine Chapel, which is also part of the healing of the head that was wounded. The Sistine Chapel. So anything that has anything to do with the Most High or to be worshipped, it's all white. If you go to heaven, you meet Peter at the gate, he's a white man. You meet the Lord, he's a white man. Angels are white. So that's part of the blasphemy. To blaspheme his what? What does it mean to blaspheme his name? Really to disrespect his name. If you know the name as an Israelite as Yahweh and his son's name is Yahweh Shai, and you call him Jesus the Christ, that's blasphemy. And his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. Those are the angels, that's the Lord. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites. We'll also go back to Daniel chapter 7. They wore out the saints of the Most High. So let's get into a little history. When Columbus first came over here, he pushed that Christianity in the face of the Indians. And if they didn't accept it, they were put to death. If they accepted it, they said, yeah, we accept this white Jesus. They would say, good, you don't get put to death, but you get to go into captivity. So we're gonna send you back to Spain. The first slaves were the Northern Kingdom, were part of the Northern Kingdom. And there were 500 that were sent back, and they went right into slavery. Those are the ones that said they accepted. So if you accept Jesus, you get to go into slavery. We ain't going to kill you, but we're going to put you in slavery. It says, and to overcome them and power. So up until this point right here, was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Another thing, we're scattered through all nations. We look like every nation under the sun. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose names are not written in the book of life. If your name is not written in the book of life, you're not one of the elect, you're gonna worship him. And ultimately, the ultimate form of worship is to take that charagma, which now Bishop Nate, after so many years, he comes across the word mark. He said, oh, the mark means an embargo. The buying and selling, the mark. Then recently he said, as of 4 months ago, he said the mark is sin in all of its forms, whether it be religious or political. So now he's saying that the mark in Revelation, he read that document, is a physical thing. And he goes into the coin, because a coin is minted. You had a guy that would chisel in the face of the Caesar and his inscription and so forth. You have it today. You have pocket change. It's the same thing as the Roman Empire. You got Washington's face or Kennedy's face, and then you got a picture of what is that? the Capitol, I guess, or the White House. His name is written in the book of life of the land slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword shall kill with the sword. Here's the patient and faith of the saints, because the people that enslaved us, we're going to enslave them. That's what this means. Because that's why the saints have patience, because they got to wait patiently for the Most High to take these people down, and then we get them. Now, this is another beast. Oh, by the way, this beast that I've been reading about is NATO and the EU. Ultimately became NATO and the EU. It says, the beast from the earth, and I beheld another beast come up out of the earth. And this is when America became to get into power. Remember what I said in these earlier verses. I said it was the head that was slain unto death was Rome. The power that came out and went to the Americas, the other side of the world, was Spain. The power came out of Spain. Then the power eventually went to the UK. And out of the UK, that's in Revelation 17, and out of the UK came America. So this right here is America. America coming up in the power. Which America was actually Rome in the beginning. That's why it said your deadly wound was healed. Rome was healed, but Rome came back as what? America. And I beheld another beast come out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So now, what happened before the beast came into power? America was split up into three European nations. France had Middle America. The West was Spain. Also, like Florida was Spain. And the East, the Northeast, was England. So you had three wars. Revolutionary War. At that time, you had 13 colonies, and then you went west under the Monroe Doctrine, and there was something else, the Monroe Doctrine, and Manifest Destiny. You know, you had I believe if you go to either the Monroe Doctrine, which I'm not going to do it, or the what was the other one that I said? Manifest Destiny. There's a woman. It's a painting of a Edomite woman, like a pretty Edomite woman, a young Edomite woman, and she's covered from she's covered from shoulder down to her toes, so you couldn't see her legs and all that. And she was pointing west, and there was a saying, "Go west, young man." The main thing that connected the east to the west was the railroad. That's when you had the Chinese. They put the Chinese in slavery. And they were built along with Jake. Meanwhile, Jake was in slavery. So this country was built through what? Through slave labor. Any history, there's always a slave and master relationship. And that's not going to be any different from the kingdom. This is why we don't talk to, if you're a Christian, we said, look, walk on down the street. We're not dealing with you. We're not going to answer your questions unless you shut your fucking ass up and listen. If you have questions related to our topic, we're not going to have a discussion. We're not going to have a debate. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And if you keep talking, I'm going to call the police on you because you're disrupting a religious or spiritual gathering. Okay, we don't want to hear what you got to say. Yeah, but God, so we don't say it one more time. I'm gonna hit that 911, nigga. We at this point, if you're a Christian, we're gonna work with you. We're gonna try to work with you. And if we see you can't get it in like 3-4 minutes, we're telling you to shut the hell up, walk on down the street, or we'll call the cops on you. We don't got to deal with no fucking Christians no more. And if you really want to learn, you got to denounce You got to completely denounce Christianity. That's what we're gonna do from now on. If we get any new people that were former Christians, we're gonna put them on video, and we're gonna have a reckoning on them. And I'm dead serious, man. So if they leave and go back to Christianity, we got a record on them that you know what it says in 2 Peter 2. And guys have did this. They have left this truth, and they went mainly to women. When the women leave the truth, they go right back to Christianity, man. So you're gonna have to denounce that Edomite form of, which is plantation Christianity. It says, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. The 2 horns like a lamb. The 2 horns represent the Republicans and the Democrats. When you go back to the Roman Empire, they had 2 horns. The patricians and the plebeians. Plebeians mean the people. Plebeians would be the Democrats, because the word plebeian means people. Patricians goes to the word patriots. So the Democrats, the word demo also means people. So what do they bring for you? You have a choice. You have a choice. You can vote Democrat or Republican, and neither of them is right. You know, it's a big joke. Earth and 2 horns like that, and he spake as a dragon. Ultimately, he's gonna come with these draconian laws, which he's doing now. And in order to push that chip, he's got to come with draconian. It's a force thing. They showed you that with the C ragamuffin. You couldn't go this way. You couldn't do that way. You had to stay in your house. You had to be in the house by 8 o'clock. You wasn't really supposed to come out, period, unless you had to go shopping. You got to go to the store and then come back. Ain't nobody was doing that shit. A lot of people was doing it, but certain people was doing what the fuck they wanted to do, man. Or you had to wear it was mandated. You had to wear a fucking mask. And then what did you find out? What was your experiences through those years? You found out the people that took it is no longer with us. Oh, so now I'm almost at the end. It says, I'm reading this the right way. And he exercises all the power of the first beast. Who's the first beast? The Roman Empire. Who's the second beast? NATO and the EU. Who's the unofficial head of the second beast? The United States. That's why Trudeau of Canada, when Nero, which is Trump, he called for a tariff on Canada, Mexico, and China. Those are 3 nations. And what did this Trudeau do? He hopped on a plane and went all the way down to Florida to try to kiss his ass. So the first beast is Rome, right? The image of the beast, by the way, is also the Roman system. Not no picture, no Caesar Borgia. Only an idiot would say something like that. That's a picture, and how do you speak? Put up a movie. The greatest story ever told. He's speaking. That shit is stupid, man. Like I said, the leadership of the IUIC, you better grow a backbone, man. Why you think they kicked us out with the Cornelius thing? Because we wasn't kissing their asses. They said, Tahar, and your people got to, y'all got to kiss. They tried to take the Connecticut camp. And then even the next day, they tried to send up guys to get us to come back. We wasn't coming back. We were on a fast. I told Yasha, I said, okay, yeah, we'll have a meeting, but don't call us, we'll call you. And he got the message. Because the man is, what is it, quick-witted. He got the message. Somebody said, what do you mean by that? You gonna call us? Did we give him a number? Nigga, that means F you in a nice way. First beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast. What does it mean to worship the first beast? Follow the Roman system, whose deadly wound was healed. Whose deadly wound was healed was what? The Rome being healed as America. The presidents were the Caesars. Trump is definitely was one of the Caesars, man. Which he is Nero. He's Nero. 13. And he calls it, and he doeth great wonders, technology, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven, the missiles on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of men, of the beast, NATO and EU, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image. It's not a picture of Caesar, but look, dumbass, NATO didn't get together. They didn't have they didn't call for another treaty at Rome. We got to make the people believe in Caesar Borgia. Most of them, some of them are small hats, man. They don't believe in no Caesar Borgia. Some of them are atheists. So that image is talking about the Roman system. That's why you have a Senate. The president will be a Caesar. A president is also known as commander or commander-in-chief. Chief, the word emperor means commander. Make an image to the beast, which had the what? Wound by a sword and did live. Who had the wound of the sword and did live? Rome. So if it's an actual image, that means you got to draw pictures of Rome, the capital of Rome, and you got to kiss the picture every morning. I don't know how you guys, please, you men of the IUIC, grow a fucking backbone, man. You ask Christ, he ain't gonna give you shit. Dude, go behind Nate's back and ask in the name of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai to give you guys a backbone. Anything this guy says, like I said in the past, if this guy said, a spirit came to me, Bonnie the purple dinosaur, that's the beast. That's right, and they'll teach it. Look, brother, look, the beast is Bonnie the purple dinosaur. You don't know it because the Most High ain't dealing with you. Like I said, I'm going to say this again. If you guys are so fucking great, nobody from Sakari's leaving you. Hakar and Assad, the two pit bulls, they're not saying we're going to get with the IUIC. Nobody from the ISUBK is getting with you. Nobody from GMS is getting with you. Nobody from Wi-Fi is getting with you. Nobody from AOC is getting with you. No members of the ICGJC is getting. Ain't nobody getting with you. Y'all got what y'all got. Y'all got these country bumpkins. That's the fuck y'all got. Y'all got a lot. Every time you see a brother, yeah, that's right. Read that for me, brother. You got a bunch of country bumpkins in your camp. They almost finished. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as. And then he says, put up the greatest story ever told with Max von Sydow. See, he's speaking. See, that's the image. Oh my goodness. And cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You got atheists that don't believe. They're not getting put to death. Christians that don't believe in the image. We don't know what he looked like. We would all be dead. The Muslims be dead. Everybody be dead. And he, which is the head that came back to life, which is America, the two horns with a lamb that spake as a dragon. And this is getting ready to happen. It's happening on a small scale, but it's getting ready to happen worldwide. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Now, after all these years, Bishop Nate is now acknowledging that the word mark is charagma. And so if you say the word mark is charagma, in Greek, the word charagma means to etch, to engrave, to imprint. In their right hand, whose right hand? The people that follow him. The ones that are not written in the Lamb's Book of Life. The ones that are not elect. Or in their foreheads. There's Elon Musk purchased a company called Neuralink, where they put chips inside of people's brains. If you go to Sweden, you got maybe about 50,000 people right now that have chips in their hand. And you got that's a country where the most chips are at. But there's going to come a time when they're going to pass emergency legislation that everybody on the planet got to get, because first everything got to go digital. Remember, Trump said I'm not with that digital shit. Now he's for it. So somebody said they should say, wait a minute, you said this, now you're saying that. Oh, he said in his campaign when he first became president, one of his slogans was lock her up. He talking about Hillary Clinton. After he became president, he said, nah, I'm not going to lock her up. They're good people. The Clintons are good people because they go and hang out in the different functions. I believe Trump even attended the wedding of Bill and Hillary Clinton's daughter, Chelsea. He attended the wedding. So they're insiders. Look, he went down to Epstein Island. The Clintons went down to Epstein Islands. 17th verse, I'm almost done. And that no man might buy or sell. I ain't talking about an embargo. It's talking about men, which mean men, women, and children. Transaction is going to be done through having a chip in you. Everything going to go digital. The paper dollar and the digital dollar as we know it today will be obsolete, and all you're going to have is digital currency, which is going to be linked to the hidden masters, and they're going to know what you purchased, what you didn't buy. So if you're a drug addict, how you going to buy drugs? You're gonna say it's digital drug transaction? You know? You can't get a woman, unless you lie and say, oh no, I'm giving that woman because she's cleaning my house, but really you cleaning her house, if you know what I mean. Save, he that had the mark, which is a chip. Now Bishop Nate, after how many years? 10 years or whatever, 12 years, he finally admits that, because he came across a document, he finally admits that the word mark has nothing to do with sin in all of its forms. It's not an embargo. It's an actual physical thing that's imprinted or engraved. That's why he said, see, Nero said you got to do this. No, the brother on the video that I did out of Dallas, he was talking about another brother, I believe the brother from Kentucky or whatever. I didn't get it. He didn't go fully into him, and I didn't watch the video. He said, but wait a minute. He asked a question. He said, if that's the case, John is saying that John was about 95. That he was on the island during the time of Domitian, which is the younger brother of Titus. So he was sentenced to the island, and he was up in age. So he gets a vision of Nero he's saying, well, don't use Nero's coins. No, Nero's long dead. Nero committed suicide in 68 AD. So we're talking about the 90s, 95, 94. So that's not a prophecy. A prophecy, meaning to go forward. It's not a reverse prophecy. The Most High is not going to give you a prophecy concerning something that happened 100 years ago. A prophecy is something to come in the future. So this guy's sounding foolish. Of the name of the beast, which is the Roman Empire, or the number of his name, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding. If your eyes are open, spiritual eyes are open, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Like you got this man's army, right? And his number is 600, which when you look it up, it's, let me do this. Let me see. It goes to Psi Chi Stigma. Let me do this. And his number is 666, which is I'll let you hear it.
Strong's G 5516. Chi, Psi, Stigma. Chi, Psi, Stigma.
Chi, Psi, Stigma. Stigma means mark. Stigma means something that you prick in. Let me do this. There's a certain way you find it, because Paul used the word stigma. As soon as it opens up. Chi Psi Stigma. Okay, let me do it this way. I believe it's in Galatians. Let me put in the word marks. Not mark, but marks. I bear the marks. Here we go. Here we go. Now look at this. So what's the Hebrew equivalent to the word mark in Revelation 13 and 16, which is charagma? The Hebrew equivalent is right here in Leviticus 19 and 28. The word, I believe it's, is it quiet? Let's look it up. Right, it's quite. Let's see what it means. Ooh, incision. I haven't gone through this in a while. Incision, imprintment, tattoo, mark. Incision, in meaning in, and cut, or cut. It means cut in. Cut in. Imprintment. Tattoos got to be imprinted in you. Mark. So this is the Hebrew equivalent of the word charagma or stigma. Chi Psi Stigma, right? I'm going to show you another time it's written in here in the New Testament, Galatians 6 and 17. From henceforth let no man trouble me. This is Paul speaking. For I bear in my body the marks of Yahushua. And the mark is what? Stigma. Stigma is a physical mark. It means it goes to the word 6. So the word stigma is 6. 600 6, right? It says to stick, right? Now, you can stick something in somebody, which is stigma, or you can talk bad about a person. You in the projects, you got this dude that's dealing with this chick. You cool with the dudes in the hood. And they say, you know, that bitch is the biggest. She done pop everybody in this particular project. So what does she get? A stigma. They're talking about her. So it's like you taking a, what do you call it? Note? What is it? A notepad? You know how you write a note, sticky pad, and you stick it on her. So and she realized it comes back. You know, everybody calling you a hoe. That's a stigma. There's no mark on her that you got to pull out. It's something that somebody talks about her. Stick. So, like I said, I'm going to say this. You window shoppers, keep window shopping. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. And I gave you a complete, but I did it in a what's the word? Well, impromptu. But another word was there's another word. I forget the goddamn word. It's right in the tip of my tongue. Not truculent. There's another word. Anyway, shalom.